Oh, look at that. I forgot to unmute myself. So hello, everybody. Welcome along to our question and answer webinar. This is one of my very favorite ones to do because you get to tell me, or you get to ask me anything you want. Whether it's about teaching, whether it's about jobs, whether it's about grammar, pronunciation, assignments, anything you want. Okay, this webinar is going to be all about you. We will just have 1 hour of questions and answers. So while you are thinking of your questions for me, let me introduce myself. My name is Mairead, and I've been with the TEFL Academy since 2015. So 9 wonderful years. I have been teaching since 2004. So coming up on 20 years now. So, you know, I like to think that I have a lot of experience in the field. I've taught in a lot of different places. I've taught a lot of different students. And, you know, being in the industry so long, I hope that I can share some of that information and experience with you today and answer any questions that you may have. I am back home in Ireland now. I moved home in 2015. So when I started working with the TEFL Academy. But before that, I worked in a lot of different countries around Europe and in a lot of different settings. So let's go. Fire away with your questions. Anything you want to know about the world of TEFL, I am all yours for the next hour. So in the meantime, I'm going to look and see who we have today. I'm sure I will recognize some of your names. And those of you I have not met before, lovely to meet you. Thanks for coming along. Okay, so hello, Joe. Deborah in South Africa, very nice. We have Quinn in Thailand. Oh my goodness, that sounds so exotic. It's one place I've never been and I've never worked. Okay, we have South Africa. Hello, Renee and Lisa Marie from Brittany. Oh, very nice. And California. Hi, Julio. All right. So I can see that we already have a couple of questions in. So hello, Julio. In a few years from now, can I review my course page to refresh what I may have forgotten? Oh, that's a great question, Julio. I'm afraid not. So when your 6 months expire, when your 6 months enrollment expires, you lose access to the course. So we would definitely advise that you take lots of notes or lots of screenshots, okay? Come up with some way that you can keep your own record of important information. You know, notes and screenshots can cover a lot. Apart from all else, I always think taking notes is just an amazing way to learn anyway. You know, it's an excellent way of consolidating and revising. We have had some students too who use voice recorder or the voice recorder on their phone, and they take notes that way. Yeah, spoken notes rather than written notes. But yeah, short answer, no, I'm afraid not. Once your enrollment expires, you cannot access the course. Okay. And we had another question here. Can I get access to my dashboard after the 6 months? No, I'm afraid not. All right, Julio, thank you for the question. Okay. So hello, Sharon in South Africa, Victoria in Gloucestershire, my neighbor across the water. Good to meet you. We have Romania, Zimbabwe. Oh my goodness, such a spread. So Julio, can the TEFL Academy create a refresher course in the future? That is definitely a suggestion I can make. Yeah, that's a good suggestion. I will certainly bring it up at our next meeting. Thank you, Julio. Good idea. Okay, so hello, Bangui. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Apologies if I didn't. How do I get access of the other webinars I've missed? Oh, so Bangui, the really good news is that if you go along to our YouTube channel, you will find all of the webinars going back for years. Okay, they are all there. So go along to YouTube, pop in the TEFL Academy in the search bar, find our channel, and there they will be. They will all be there. There are dozens and dozens of them, probably hundreds of them at this stage. So today is Saturday, right? So this webinar will be uploaded to YouTube on Monday or Tuesday at the latest. So there will always be just maybe 2 or 3 days delay for the latest webinar, to be uploaded, but all of the rest of them are there for eternity. All right, thank you. So hello, Ireland's Pacifist, Carlovian. Oh, Carlo, nice. I'm in Galway, but I'm from Roscommon, and we have a really big match on at the moment. So, I'm so nervous while I'm here talking to you. But yeah, once this webinar is over, I'm going to jump on and watch that match. So fingers crossed for us. Nice to meet you, Ireland's Pacifist. Let's see. Hello, Deborah. Can one do all of the units, tests, and complete with assignments? Yes, Deborah, absolutely. There are lots of ways you can do this. Well, actually, lots, no, that's a slight exaggeration. There are 2 ways you can do this. You can either go through the units and do the assignments as they crop up, or you can do all of the units, all of the end of unit tests, and then go back, okay, and do the 3 assignments at the end. I think, Deborah, there are pros and cons to each. It just depends on how you feel that you would work best. I would give a word of caution, though, if you do leave all of the assignments to the end, you may find that you might have forgotten some of the key features. For example, at the end of Unit 5, you will find Assignment A, and Assignment A covers all of the stuff from Units 1 to 5. So personally, I think it would be easier to do the assignment at the end of Unit 5 while all of the information is fresh in your mind. But, that's just me. Everybody is different. So yeah, to answer your question, you can absolutely do all of the units and then the assignments. All right, thank you, Deborah. Good question. I'm sure a lot of people were wondering about that. Okay. So hello, Jessica. How do I go about getting my first job after I finish the course? Great question, Jessica. That's what it's all about, right? Finding that first job. So I would say, Jessica, at the end of Unit 10, I believe, there is a short unit all about preparing CVs, job hunts, etc. So firstly, read that. Yeah, obviously, that will give you lots of really good tips. The main thing you need to do is prepare your CV, okay? Because, a TEFL CV may be a little bit different to a traditional CV. For example, in a TEFL CV, you don't need to list like all of your work experience. You just need to list the relevant stuff, okay? So don't worry if there are some gaps. That's not a big deal. In a TEFL CV, you might emphasize more your life experiences, like if you have traveled a lot, if you've lived abroad before, you might emphasize more your language ability, like have you yourself learned another language? You will also want to give your TEFL certificate its own section where you say, this is a level 5 or a level 3, if that's the one you're doing. This is a level 3 or a level 5 certification, certified by Ofqual. And you'll give a brief description of what the course involved. Okay, so you will really want it to jump out on your CV that you do, in fact, have an accredited TEFL certification, because, a lot of people don't. So you are all one step ahead of the game already. So yeah, prepare your CV. That would be my first piece of advice. After that, Jessica, it's just a matter of hitting the jobs boards. The TEFL Academy has a jobs board. We keep it updated constantly. We have a ton of job advertisements there, so do check that out. Of course, there are other job boards available. For example, TEFL.com is one of the biggest ones out there. So, do your research, find your jobs boards and just apply, apply for everything. even if it's remotely interesting to you. That is my motto in life. Okay. And yeah, after you apply, then it's just a matter of waiting to be contacted. If you are in the country where you are applying for jobs, you can typically have a face-to-face interview, if the school is nearby. But if not, oftentimes we are applying to other countries, right, while we are still in our home country. So you'll find that interviews tend to be online, or phone interviews. Okay. But apart from that, they follow the same basic interview structure, right? Your employer will want to know about you. What's your background? Why do you think you would be a good teacher, etc. I would say that in an interview for a TEFL job, you've got to portray yourself as friendly, approachable, willing to learn. Yeah, because remember, you've got to display the characteristics that the ideal teacher would have. Okay, so in a TEFL interview, you are like yourself, but amped up. Okay, you are friendly, approachable, ready to learn, willing to take on new adventures, etc. So yeah, there we go, Jessica. If you have any more specific questions, please pop them in the chat box. I'm sure that will not be the last question we have about jobs today. All right. Okay, Jenny, hello. Roughly how long does each assignment take to complete? Oh, Jenny, I'm going to be really annoying, and I'm going to give you that answer that nobody wants to hear, which is, it depends. And I genuinely mean that. Some students kind of fly through them in a couple of days. Other students take longer. Okay. It totally depends on you and the amount of time you have to dedicate to it. Okay. In an ideal world, I'm sure we would all clear our calendars and just go at the assignments like full time and, knock them out in a couple of days. But, we are totally aware that other people do not have the luxury of clearing their calendars just for this course. So yeah, just it depends. And I know that's an annoying answer and I apologize, but it's the truth. Okay, so hello, Quinn. Working in Thailand, is it okay to speak Thai to the students if they can't understand the English instructions? Well, Quinn, I definitely get why that would be tempting, for sure. And, the odd word here and there, probably not an issue. But honestly, Quinn, I would try to just tough it out and stick to English. Okay, because, that exposure to you speaking English is how your students are going to learn. So really, it's up to you to find ways to convey meaning without using their language. Now, I totally get that that's difficult. And, you will invariably use the odd word of Thai here and there, but really try not to fall into that habit. Because if the students know that you are going to explain in Thai, what's their motivation for trying to understand you when you give the instructions in English? So, yeah, it may be tempting and you may resort to it on the odd occasion, but try really hard not to. All right. So I hope that makes sense. Okay, Julio, do we get the TEFL certificate by mail? Yes. Or do we download and print it? I think certain countries do get a PDF copy. Honestly, Julio, I don't work in the TEFL, in the certificate dispatch department. So what I advise you to do is send a ticket to student support. Okay, and they will answer all of your certificate problems, all of your certificate questions rather, because yeah, honestly, I am not super familiar with that department and how dispatch works. Okay. Okay, so hello, Poke. It was recommended that the top-up courses should be done after the main course. Yes, true. How long can I postpone the top-up courses if I go on summer holidays after completing the main course? Again, Poke, this is not a department that I have a lot of experience in. Yeah, the logistics of enrollment and things like that. So as I just said to Julio, please send a ticket to student support and they will give you all of the details. Okay, because yeah, I am not entirely sure. Thank you. Okay. Julio, if an employer needs to verify one's preparation, does the TEFL Academy provide training verification? Well, Julio, that is your certificate, yeah, and your transcript that you receive when you have successfully passed the course. So your certificate is your verification. Okay, Jenny, can we access the jobs board after the 6 months? Yes, Jenny, that you can access for sure. That is on our main website. So, you don't access it through your dashboard, your main site. Yeah, absolutely. Keep an eye on it. There's always good things popping up. Okay, so hello, Shiki. At what point should I apply for the top-up courses and how do I go about it? Oh, excellent. You're nearly halfway there. Good job. Well, again, Shiki, I would advise contacting student support. Okay, and they will give you all of the recommendations about the best time to enroll. Okay, so yeah, pop them along a ticket and they will be best placed to help you. All right, thank you for your questions. Okay, so hello, Judith. Is there an age limit as an online teacher for the Academy to connect me? Or it's all as bad, or it's all as and when one feels tired? Judith, there is no age limit that I've ever encountered. I can honestly say that. You will have teachers, straight out of school. You will have teachers post-retirement. Okay. As far as I have encountered, there are no age limits. So apply for everything. All right. Thank you, Judith. So hello, Jessica. Oh, a related question. It seems like a lot of people teaching are really young. Some of them, yeah, like you, I'm a bit older. I'm in my 50s. Will it be hard for me to find a job at this age? I think so. Honestly, it is not something that I've ever encountered. Like any place I have worked, be it in a bricks and mortar school or online, I've had colleagues of all ages, all levels of experience. Like it genuinely is not an issue that I have ever come across or that I have heard. As I just said to Judith, if there's anything that interests you, go for it. Apply for everything. All right. Thank you, Jessica. Good question. So hello, Russ. How do I find the date my course expires? Great question. I'm sure a lot of you will be wondering this. So Russ, when you enrolled in the program, whatever date you enrolled, add 6 months onto that, okay? So go back to your emails from when you first enrolled and you'll be able to work it out from there. I think it even gives you the date in one of those initial emails. So yeah, go back to your emails and see what date you enrolled and add 6 months onto that. If you can't find emails or if you're still not sure, send a ticket to tutors. Send a ticket to student support, okay, and we will be able to give you the exact date. I accidentally said tutor support there. That is because I work on tutor support. Basically, tutor support deals with all of your questions about the content of the course and about the assignments. So any questions about those things, send your ticket to tutor support. Any questions about enrollments, course expiries, top-up courses, send your ticket to student support. Okay, and so thank you, Russ. All right, so hello, Mark. I finished the level 5 course. Excellent, congratulations. That's no mean feat. I'm busy with the business English course, very good. I don't have a degree, so I've chosen to teach in Cambodia. Very nice. I believe it's better to go there to look for a job in person. Well, you know what, Mark? If you can go there and look in person, why not? I would absolutely advise that if you can do it, because that way you get to go to the schools, you get to, experience the vibe of the place, you get to talk to the people working there, you get to see the students. So if you can go there to look for a job, awesome, do it. Okay. On the other hand, if you can't, like a lot of us can't just go to another country without a job lined up, for financial reasons, or maybe, we just prefer the security of having something lined up. So, if you can, if you can't go there in person without a job, you can absolutely search from home and just do the whole process online. Finding the jobs online, doing online interviews, etc. But if you can go there, do it. That would be like the best case scenario, I think. I've done it that way once, Mark. I was already in Spain, and I took a notion that I wanted to go to the south of Spain. So I just went there and knocked on doors and Googled all the schools and showed up, unannounced. And, that was a really great way to do it, because, I did get to see the school, before I committed to any job offer. So, all the other times, though, I've planned ahead and I've had a job waiting. I guess I'm just not that adventurous sometimes. All right. Thank you, Mark, and good luck with your job hunt in Cambodia. So hello, Malasady. How are you? Hello there. With regards to assignment B, I see that we do not have a Word template document to work from. Are we supposed to create our own template? My apologies, I just got access to it today. Well, Malasady, we actually do provide all of the templates you need. Okay, so read all of the instructions and then keep scrolling down, and you'll see there will be a big list of templates at the bottom of the page. Okay, there will be a model lesson, like an example lesson provided, but then there will also be blank templates for you to use in your assignment. Okay, so you shouldn't have to create any of your own templates. We provide them all. So please go back and take a look. Okay, they are there. If you can't find them, please send a ticket to tutor support and we will point you in the right direction. All right. So, hello, Jessica. Again, good to have another question. Can you describe some of your teaching experiences in the different countries you've been? What was it like? Were you alone there? Oh, Jessica, great question. Oh, and thank you in advance for letting me wander down memory lane for a while. Well, how I got started, Jessica, was I studied languages at university, and as part of my degree, I had a TEFL module built in. Okay, so I was really lucky in that when I graduated, I already had my TEFL. So after that, I worked in Ireland for a year or two just to get some experience. And after that, one of my colleagues moved to Moscow. And I thought, hey, that sounds fun. So I applied to the school he was working in Moscow, and I went there for 2 years. That was my first real experience of living abroad. And it was amazing. It was just the best experience. After that, I kind of hopped around Europe for a while. I worked in the UK during the summers. So summer schools are an amazing way of getting experience with young learners. They tend to pay quite well, and they are typically residential. So you get to live on campus and teach all of the young learners and then do activities with them in the afternoons and evenings. And it's a really fun time. I worked in France for a while, in the south of France, so that was really exciting. And then I found myself in Spain because I had studied Spanish in university and thought I'd better go back there before I forget all of my Spanish. I went there and I ended up staying for 8 years. Well, 7.5 years. So I loved Spain. I worked in a lot of different cities while I was there. The thing I really loved about working in Spain was that I was working in a private language school. So I got to teach students of like all ages. Like in the same day, I could have young learners, I could have teenagers, I could have young adults, and I could have, adult classes with people of all ages. So, it's really, it's a great way to get experience, working in a language school, because you find your timetable full up with all different types of levels, ages, etc. And then I moved home to Ireland in 2015, and ever since I've been working online. I've been working face-to-face. I work as a teacher trainer. So TEFL, it's not just standing in a classroom, okay, teaching the same nationality and the same age all the time. There is a huge variety to it. Okay, you can find yourself doing all sorts of things. The sky's the limit. There are so many opportunities to develop if that's what you want. You can move into different areas of TEFL. It's an amazing job, Jessica. It's the only job I've ever had, straight out of college. So I'm excited for you all that you get to experience it. It's a wonderful job. So thank you so much for the question, Jessica. That was a really lovely trip down memory lane for me. Thank you. Okay. So hello, Shiki, again. What is the delegate code and when is it used? I received one with the enrollment confirmation. So Shiki, the delegate code, delegate, not delicate, maybe it is delicate too, who knows. The delegate code is basically your student number. Okay, so if you ever have to contact student services, like for any questions about enrollment or anything, you will quote your student number or your delegate code, as we call it. All right. Thank you. Okay. So hello, Vivian. I recently enrolled in the end of June, and how long does the course take, and why does it not allow for those who failed to re-register? Okay, so Vivian, your enrollment is for 6 months. Okay, so if you enroll the end of June, your enrollment will expire the end of December. Okay, again, you can check the dates for, for the exact date that your course will expire. But 6 months is the enrollment. Why does it not allow for those who fail to re-register? You can certainly send a ticket along to student support and get the answer from them. Okay. They will be able to provide you with a fuller answer than I am aware of right now. All right. So thank you, Vivian. All right. Okay. So Julio, where can I find my delegate code? Why can't I say delegate today, guys? I keep saying delicate. I have no idea why. Where can I find my delegate code? I would look back, Julio, at the emails that you received. I know you receive a couple of emails when you first enroll. But if you can't find it, just send a ticket to student support and they will be more than happy to give it to you. Okay. All right. So hello, Jeannie. What is the process if we need an extension to complete the course? I enrolled in February 24. Okay. So you'll be finishing up around August, right? So if you need an extension, Jeannie, all you have to do is contact student support. Okay. If you are doing your assignments and it's becoming clear that you're not going to finish in time, I would leave it until maybe the week before your course expires and then contact them. Okay, tell them that you need an extension and then they will get back to you and give you the whole range of, extension lengths, prices, etc. Okay, so, keep going, keep working as hard as you can. But if, a week out from your expiry, you don't really have enough time, that is when you will reach out to student support. Okay, they will give you all of the options. Okay, thank you, Jeannie. Okay, so hello, Kiara. How can I find students to teach online? Oh, great question, Kiara. Well, if you want to work freelance, like independently as a language teacher, you're going to have to do a lot of work marketing yourself. Okay, if you work for an online school, chances are that they will provide all of the students for you. Yeah, they will just tell you, you have this class, this class, this class, and you just show up and teach. Okay, it's easy if you work for an online school. If you don't, it's all on you. So I know a lot of teachers, when they start out, they sign up with platforms such as Preply. I don't know if you've ever heard of Preply. It's basically a marketplace for tutors and teachers. So you would go along to Preply or, any of those online marketplace sites. You would create a profile, and students will go there then and hopefully find you and contact you for lessons. Okay. So I'm going to type this in the chat box. So Preply is probably the biggest tutor marketplace there is on the internet right now. Other ones might include italki. I think there's also one called Cambly. Let me just check if this still exists. I know it used to. I just want to check so I'm not giving you outdated information. Yeah, Cambly. Let me throw that in the chat box. So you will set up profiles on these tutor marketplace sites, and hope that students can find you. Apart from that, if you are looking for students locally, you can advertise on, in whatever classified newspaper there is in your area. I know a lot of teachers can find local students. Okay, so do that, or put up ads in the local universities, colleges, schools, libraries. Okay, there may be students closer than you think, so don't discount that entirely. Otherwise, it's just setting up your profiles on these online tutor marketplaces. You can also advertise yourself via Instagram, via Facebook, all of the usual. Okay, all of the usual social media sites. Okay, but there is work involved, and you've got to be prepared to put in a lot of work to publicize yourself initially. You'll probably find that once you attract a few students, more students will find you through word of mouth from your existing students. So it's not always really hard to publicize yourself. Okay, it's just that initial push in the beginning to find some students. Okay, so thank you, Kiara, and good luck. Okay, so hello, Beauties. That's a nice name. All I see is beauty. Beauty Ice. Anyway, fabulous name. What are the consequences if I did not finish the course in 6 months? So Beauty Ice, all that means is that you will have to apply for an extension. Okay. Now you can apply for extensions of varying different lengths. It totally depends on what you need. Okay, we offer a range of options. And that's it. Then you buy your extension and you continue with the course. Okay. If you have any questions about extensions, again, please send a ticket to student support. All right. Thank you, Beauty. All right, so hello, MA Stockpool. I haven't taught in Dublin for years. Oh, hi. Last time was a summer when doing my postgrad. How well does a TEFL teacher survive in the Irish cost of living? Oh, with difficulty. MA Stackpool with difficulties. I would ultimately love to come home. So I would say when you are coming home to Ireland or the UK or the US, or Canada, any countries that will already have, a decent supply of TEFL teachers, you've kind of got to think of upskilling a little bit. Okay, so before I came home, I did my Cambridge Delta. That is like a really, it's a high level certification. And, that gave me the edge to be able to pick and choose the jobs I wanted when I came home. Another thing you can do, MA Stackpool, is establish yourself online. Okay, like if you have a steady stream of students online, you will just be able then to work from home, and you'll save yourself a lot of costs of like commuting, lunches out, dinners out, all of that jazz, right? So establishing yourself as an online teacher can also keep your overheads down a lot. Okay. The thing is though, in Ireland, because it's so expensive, you can't afford to undersell yourself. Okay. So, don't fall into the trap of, and actually this goes to all of you, don't fall into the trap of charging really low prices for your lessons. Know your value. You are experienced, you are certified. So, don't get involved in this whole race to the bottom with really low charges. Okay, you have got to make enough to survive. So yeah, know your worth and charge accordingly. Definitely though, consider upskilling or maybe specializing like in some niche area of TEFL, like, specialize in exam preparation where like you only teach IELTS or Cambridge exams. Yeah. Or, get involved with a school that offers training as, say, speaking examiners. Yeah. Do your research. It can be tricky. TEFL, it's not the best paid profession in the whole world, but there are definitely ways of making it work. Okay, I am living proof. And a whole lot of teachers I know that have moved home to Ireland from abroad. So yeah, it takes careful planning and, a lot of hustle, but it's definitely possible. And yeah, welcome home. If you do make it home, we'll be delighted to have you back. Okay. So, hello, Quinn. Can you give some advice on classroom management? I have a hard time being tough with unruly students. Oh, yes, Quinn. Isn't that just the dilemma that all of us face, especially when we're starting out or in our early years? Well, you know what, Quinn? My biggest advice is just start as you mean to go on. Okay, it is much easier to set down ground rules immediately in the first class when students don't really know you. It's much easier to do it then than a couple of weeks down the line when they've already decided what they can and can't get away with. Okay, so I would say that your very first class and very first week and very first month, it is just so important. Lay down those ground rules and be consistent and stick to them. Okay, and know what consequences you can apply and what you can't. If you're working for a school, have a chat with the director and ask them, okay, look, what can I actually do if a student is misbehaving? Like, can I sit them in a corner with extra work? Can I send them to another teacher's class? Can I send them outside the door? Yeah, you need to find what you can do first and then, do it. Okay. That's not to say that you need to go in like full on strict at the beginning, because, that would possibly alienate your students entirely. It is more than possible to be friendly, approachable. Yeah. All of those great things while still being able to keep your rules. Yeah. It's all about consistency. Normally, Quinn, what I do, my first class, is I draw up a classroom contract with my students. But I won't tell them the rules of behavior. I will ask them to tell me, because believe me, they already know the rules. They know all of the rules. Okay, so get them written down somewhere on a poster in the classroom. Okay, get them to sign it. You can sign it, make it a proper, these are the rules that we've got to follow. And then if the students don't follow the rules, then you can implement whatever consequences you're allowed to implement. Okay, really, it's all about consistency. If you are already teaching a class like for a couple of weeks or a couple of months that are problematic, it's never too late to just say, okay, guys, stop. Let's do something about this. Okay, I've noticed some behavior that I'm not happy about. All right, so from today, we are going to establish a set of rules that I would like you to follow. Okay, but yeah, you just got to take control, Quinn. You've got to just find your inner teacher voice and unleash it. Okay, because it's that's no fun for anyone. It's not fun for you being in front of an unruly class. It's not fun for the students who are not unruly but who find themselves in an unruly class. So yeah, you've just got to stand up, plant your feet, project your voice, take control. Okay, that would be my advice. Once you have explicitly addressed the rules, then you can deal with all the other stuff as it arises, as long as you have your foundation. Okay, so thank you, Quinn. If you have any more specific questions, like any specific issues you're having, please pop them into chat box and we will have a look. Okay, so hello, Chanel. What online schools are recommended for TEFL teachers? Oh, Chanel, there are so many of them. I don't recommend any in particular because I don't like recommending places that I haven't worked for personally. But there are so many of them out there. It's just a matter of looking at those jobs boards, researching anything you find interesting, and deciding whether to go along with it or not. If you find an online school advertising a job that you think you might like, do your research, get onto Google, put in the name of the schools, look at their reviews. Okay, do they have a nice website? Is it up to date? Yeah. Do your interview, ask your questions. There are so many reputable online schools out there. It's just a matter of doing your research. Okay, but there is none in particular that I would recommend over the others. All right, so thank you, Chanel, and good luck with your job hunt. So hello, Mark. If I want to teach some online classes to supplement my income in Cambodia, which e-learning or LMS platform would you recommend? Honestly, Mark, you cannot go too far wrong with Zoom or StreamYard, which is the one we're using right now for this webinar. Honestly, I would stick with those. I wouldn't go investing in any like subscription, any expensive subscriptions to other LMSs. If I were only doing online teaching as a sideline to supplement my face-to-face teaching. So yeah, Zoom, StreamYard. I think Skype is still a thing. I haven't used it in a long time. So, but yeah, I know in the beginning when I started teaching, I used to use Skype. Microsoft Teams, maybe Google Meet. There's no need for anything specialist if it's not your full-time gig. And even if it is your full-time gig, Zoom is perfectly fine, or Skype, or any of those video conferencing apps. All right, thank you, Mark. So Chiara, I know platforms, I teach Italian. Oh, awesome, good. So you probably know more than me then. Are there online schools as well? Yeah, absolutely, Chiara. So if you go along to any jobs board and search for the online option, you will find a lot of them. Okay, there are tons of them out there. Online schools are good because they provide you with all of the students, and they typically provide you with the material too. Okay, so all you need to do is show up and teach. The students are there, the material is there. So Yeah, definitely. Just again, get on Google, do your research, do a search for online schools and see what comes up. Again, apply for anything that looks interesting to you. Okay. So Deborah, I normally have a problem with the survey link as it requests if I want to create my own survey. So I'm not able to participate on survey questions. Okay. Well, Deborah, why don't you send a ticket to student support and maybe take a screenshot of what you see when you try to participate in the surveys. Okay, send it along to student support and they will be best placed to find you a solution to that. Okay, so yeah, send a ticket and they'll get working on it for you. Okay, so hello, sweetie. Do the level 5 TEFL courses prior to April 2022 count as level 5? Absolutely. Wanted to finish what I started back in Dublin in 2020. Oh, hi Dublin again. So got a recent extension, so I do wonder. Oh, absolutely, sweetie, do it. It's never too late to take it up again. Yeah, they are absolutely still very valid level 5 courses. So yeah, get it done. Absolutely, why not? Okay, so hello Vivina. Can I make a career out of teaching adults only? Yes, absolutely. It may be harder if you are working in a non-English speaking country. Like if you're working in a language school, say in Spain or in China or wherever, because language schools will tend to have a wide range of ages. Like you'll be teaching young learners, teenagers, adults, etc. It's less common to find like an adults only school in countries that do not have English as the first language. However, in countries that do have English as a first language, it's much easier. Like say, for example, I'm in Ireland now, right? So when I moved home, yeah, I only taught adults. Okay, because of course kids aren't going to come over during the year because they're at school in their own countries, right? Another way you can ensure that you only teach adults is by teaching online and finding your own students. Or perhaps you want to start up as an independent teacher, like a private teacher in your own city or country, in which case you can just advertise and only take on adult students. So yeah, it's absolutely possible. It may not always be easy, but you can definitely make it work. There are ways to make it happen. All right, thank you, Vivina. Good luck. Okay, Jessica, some of the jobs listed online are like programs where they arrange everything for you, but you have to pay them. Like a volunteering thing, is it? TEFL Heaven is an example. Do you recommend those? Well, I've never heard of TEFL Heaven, honestly, so I can't recommend it or not. I mean, if you think that you would prefer the security of that, do your research and see that it's something that is worth doing. Honestly, though, Jessica, I would just say get out there, like apply for jobs, take a job and do it. Okay. I guess these types of organizations can suit some people, otherwise, they wouldn't exist if nobody used them, right? So, I'm sure people do use them and I'm sure they're suitable for a lot of people, but I would always recommend just getting out there and doing it. Okay. Just start earning money. Yeah. But again, it totally depends on the level of security that a person needs. Okay. So I'm not recommending or not recommending them. Yeah. I'm just saying to consider getting out there and just doing it. Yeah. And bypassing all of these companies. It totally depends on you, Jessica, what way you want to go about it. If you do want to use one of these companies, just make sure you do your research. Yeah, make sure you know exactly what you're signing up for. So Victoria, my family has commented that I sometimes slip into teacher voice when at home. Does anyone else experience this? All the time, Victoria, literally all the time. I have a little 2-year-old and the poor girl, she hears teacher voice a lot. But yeah, There we go. It happens to the best of us, Victoria. It's a hard habit to shake. But you know what? Teacher voice can be incredibly useful, I find, in a wide range of scenarios. Yeah, so it's a wonderful thing. Use it to your advantage. Okay. So hello, Mark. I want to specialize in teaching business English. Great, because I'm 59 and have many years of experience. Oh, awesome. Is there a genuine market for this? Yes, Mark, absolutely. I think I mentioned this to another one of our viewers earlier. Like, if you can specialize in any type of niche, you know, that will stand to you really, really well. You know, there are not a huge lot of business English teachers out there with experience in the business world. Okay, so if you can market yourself or position yourself as a business English teacher with genuine business experience, yeah, you know, you're a huge step ahead of all of the other teachers who are teaching business English, but that is not their background. So yeah, absolutely, for sure. You can definitely make a go of that. I am confident. Okay, so Ireland's pacifist. I'm a little behind on the live feed, so my apologies if this has already been asked. How difficult is CELTA in comparison to TEFL? The main difference is that you get to do 6 hours actual teaching practice, okay? Whereas with an online company such as ourselves, we can't really offer that yet. Okay, so CELTA is pretty intense because, as well as all of the course work and all of the assignments, I think CELTA has 4 assignments, if I remember correctly. You also have to plan and teach 6 hours of class. So I would say that the content is pretty similar. Yeah, you know, we cover all of the same stuff in CELTA and TEFL. You know, it's all the same stuff we're covering, just CELTA has that extra pressure of actual teaching classes. Okay. That's probably why it's far more expensive. Yeah, than an online course too. So yeah, in terms of content, not different. Okay, but in terms of teaching experience, yeah. Or actual teaching experience, yeah. Okay, thank you. So Julio, we use Canvas in my college. Yeah, that would be a learning management system for sure. So you can use like a specialist one, such as Canvas, or you can just go down the video conferencing route. Okay, totally depends on you. Honestly, I would probably go for the most economical option, especially when I'm starting out and, you know, if it's only going to be my sideline job rather than my full-time job. All right. So Lisa Maria, hello. I have recently bought Raymond Murphy's Grammar and Use Intermediate Level. Oh, nice. The green one, no, the blue one, the dark blue one. Do you recommend buying the beginner level book as well? No, not necessarily, Lisa Maria. I mean, the intermediate one will give you a really good, a really good explanation of all of the main grammar points. If you find that the explanations are a bit confusing to you, you know, you might prefer to go back and start reading the ones aimed at elementary students. But you know, I think that should be fine for you. You know, obviously you don't have to do all of the exercises, you know, they are for, you know, genuine students of English, not teachers of English. But in terms of the explanations, yeah, it's a great book. It gives really, really good explanations, timelines, examples, etc. of all of the main grammar points. So yeah, thank you, Lisa Maria. Okay. So hello, Russ. How do you sanction an online student? Oh, well, Ross, if you are working for an online school, yeah, they should have a list of appropriate sanctions that you can use. If they don't, honestly, I just mute them. Just, you know, mute or block for 10 minutes. But, you know, do check with your online school again, what you are allowed to do. But, just mute. Take them out of the game. Mute them for 2 minutes. And then if they come back and still are misbehaving, mute them for 5 minutes. Okay. Really, our options are very limited when it comes to online schools. Okay. Or online teaching. If it's like a private student, like maybe I'm guessing you are working with kids or teenagers here, because adults don't tend to provide that problem. If it's a private student, see if you can talk to their parents about it, because their parents won't want to think that they're wasting their money putting their child in lessons and then only to have their child misbehave. So yeah, if appropriate and if possible, get the parents involved. If not, just keep muting. Okay, and if it's an online school, ask the school exactly what you can do. Okay, so hopefully that helps. Okay, I've just glanced at the clock, guys, and we only have 3 minutes left. That went so quickly. Thank you for all the amazing questions. We had plenty to talk about. The time flew by. Yeah, I think we're out of questions. So I have a favor. Well, I have a reminder, and then I have a favor to ask. So firstly, as one of you asked at the beginning, it is possible to watch this webinar again and all of the webinars that have gone before. Okay. If you go along to YouTube and search for the TEFL Academy channel, go to the video section and you will find all of the webinars going back ages and ages. All right. Also, we always like to know your thoughts on these webinars. Yeah, because your feedback really helps us to, develop new topics or, to keep doing things that you are finding useful. So if you could take 2 more minutes out of your Saturday, we would really appreciate it if you could complete a very quick survey based on this webinar, on your experience of this webinar. So you can either scan the QR code on the screen now, or I will also type the direct link into the chat box so you can access it that little bit more easily. Okay. And again, just a final reminder, if you have any other questions regarding the course content or the assignments, please send a ticket to tutor support and we will be only too happy to help. If you have any questions about enrollments, extensions, etc., please send your ticket to student support. So there we have it, guys. Our hour is up. I will see you again next Saturday. Same time, same place. You will find the link to next week's webinar, as usual, on your dashboard. So I really hope that I see you all again then. And in the meantime, enjoy the rest of your weekend and have a great week. All right, everyone. Bye-bye.